Hello and welcome to this live interaction with me, Ashish Parekh. Right now, we are at a stage where technology influences almost every facet of our life and also things around us. And the quantum of personal information being shared online or offline has eaten into our personal life. In fact, all this has forced us to take a long, hard look at this digital change and also the associated implications of personal data protection. Now, with most organizations on a digitization spree, the Personal Data Protection Bill, that is the PDPB, is a valuable step towards a sustainable solution that would aid India in strengthening its personal data security concerns and also positions, as well as empower and equip individuals to manage their personal data. Now, a parliamentary panel which is reviewing the Indian government's personal data protection bill and is headed by BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi has asked all the stakeholders to appear before it to discuss about the bill following concerns expressed by the Congress, a move which some industry executives could believe that could potentially hurt foreign tech firms and also force them to change how they store data. In fact, Facebook representatives appeared before the committee on Friday and were questioned for nearly 2 hours. The presentation of Twitter officials before the panel will take place on October 28, and according to a notice issued by the Lok Sabha Secretariat, Google and Paytm also have been asked to appear before the panel on October 29. Now, this is not an exercise which is exclusive to India, but what's different in this case is that one of the biggest tech forces in India, US company Amazon, has refused to appear before the Joint Parliamentary Committee and has said that their subject matter experts are overseas and have cited travel risks due to which they cannot really appear. And replying to this, BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi, who is heading the panel, of course, hit back saying that if no one appears on the behalf of the e-commerce company before the panel, it amounts to breach of privilege and also invites jail terms. So what exactly does this mean for the entire tech scenario in India, and what exactly does it mean for the tech giants? To speak to us more about this and also explain the situation, I've got with me our expert for the day, Mr. Rangnath Mysore, who's a cyber law expert. First of all, thanks a lot, Mr. Rangnath, for joining us on this live interaction. What exactly is the parliamentary panel exactly doing, and why are the companies being summoned? Is this similar to what we've been seeing in the US and the EU, wherein companies have to come out and speak about their data protection, data privacy practices and also data storage practices?
Yeah, Ashish. When these companies are having huge data, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Amazon, they all have a footprint and they have millions of users who are registered with them. Now, since the PDP bill is coming back, 1 years back, and everyone has given their input, now the GPC committee, the Joint Parliament Committee, is looking for the inputs from these organizations on how they are handling data, and also what is the security part of the data what they are collecting from the Indian users. Now the data is being stored out of India, and that's the localization part. That's something with the prime concern, which they are focused. And also other areas of focus is how the advertisement revenue generation, what is the process and how they are sharing. All these are being discussed with these people. So
okay.
That's where the committee is heading about in restructuring the e-commerce business in India, and also along with the data protection of its users.
Also, Mr. Rangnath, now this particular move, a lot of people, like I said, tech executives believe that this could potentially harm all of these companies. Is that actually the case, or does it mean that the data protection practices in India, data privacy practices would get more stringent, and that could mean that better data protection as far as users are concerned?
Yeah, definitely. We need to have that data protection policy. So what is the guarantee where how the data is being used, and in case of emergency, in case of court need the data or the police need the data for investigation, how do we get it if it is stored overseas? That's where the data localization will come into play, and that takes the concern of these people, right?
Absolutely. Also, Mr. Rangnath, now Amazon has said that it cannot appear before the parliamentary panel in a move which most people feel, they're trying to dodge tough question. For example, if you take an example of, an instance in the past, its chief executive Jeff Bezos also escaped some sort of tough questioning about, for an hour in a high-profile US House of Representatives antitrust hearing under the pretext of a technical glitch. So, is Amazon actually trying the same technique here, wherein they're just trying to dodge all of these questions, or is it actually an issue that they're having with attending this particular hearing?
Yeah, Amazon earlier told they were not able to attend this parliament meeting giving this pandemic issue where they are not able to, their executive doesn't stay in India and they can't travel overseas.
Okay.
And that could be a breach of privilege for the notice which is being provided. And Amazon also told, they also, from the written statement, how written submission for the consideration of the committee. But just a few hours back, the latest update is Amazon has taken a U-turn and they said they'll be part of this discussion.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm looking into. So that's the latest development what happened with Amazon.
Also, Mr. Rangnath, now, we're talking about there being fines that are levied, in case there is something abrupt which is found. For example, now, in case this particular parliamentary panel, finds something which is not really as per law, if, data sharing practices or any such practices which it believes is actually infringing into the rights of people, what kind of fines can be levied? What kind of action can be taken against these tech giants? Because they have been ruling the roost for a long time now, and, pretty much, none of their practices are really coming under the purview of law, because of the fact that a lot of it is under a grey area which we do not really have a rule or any sort of regulation for. So in case anything abrupt or anything undue is found as far as data sharing practices is concerned, what sort of a fine can be levied on them?
As of now, if you see IT Act, the amendments in 2008 and for the rules which has come after 2011-13 and all, there is a provision for protection of data, but it is not in a great extent. So the personal information is sensitive personal information, like related to financial data, related to health data. Those need to be captured as intermediary rules are also exist. So they come into that framework. But when we talk about PDC, this is the extension of a detailed structure of handling data privacy of the individual and of the users. So that's where the challenge comes. One thing which is missing in this IT Act was the data localization.
Yeah.
Where at this moment the data is being stored overseas. So storing data overseas itself is a challenge, and in case if you need to get the data, it's really tiring job and cumbersome job to get that.
Exactly.
So taking this PDP bill, the government of India is totally restructuring the way data should be handled.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Mr. Rangnath, for joining us on this live interaction. So clearly, like our experts said, data localization is something that is the need of the hour, because all of your data, no matter what platform you're using, no matter what service you're using, all of your data is being stored in a country, in a completely different country and not in India. And this is not as per as regulations are concerned. And, there has been absolutely no one to even bother asking these tech giants, because, of course, there's a lot of lobbying happening. There's a lot of other things also happening, which means that all of your data could potentially be compromised. Yes, all of these companies claim that they are securing data, but at the end of the day, the fact that your data is being stored in some other country could easily mean that the government of that country can access your data, or even the hackers can access your data, which again puts a national security risk into picture. And this is something that the Indian government has been serious about over the past couple of years. And in that regard, we had the data protection, data privacy protection bill also being under discussion. And also in this regard now, the representatives from various tech giants in the country have been summoned, and also a restructuring is happening wherein the data storage practices, data sharing practices, and also the amount of data that needs to be stored, and also the amount of data that needs to be taken from users, all of these things are being taken into context. And one only hopes that this means that all of our data which is stored online is much more secure and is within our own country. Do let us know what you guys think about this development, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe to News9 Digital. Thanks a lot for watching.